In 2014, the gaming landscape was defined by a few key trends. Military shooters were reaching their peak, obsessed with gritty realism and multiplayer dominance. Industry was learning to monetize everything. And the single-player story-driven experience, well, many said it was a dying art. Into this world, they dropped a relic, a sequel to a franchise older than Polygons itself. On the surface, it was the ultimate video game cliché, a muscle-bound hero with a comically large gun fighting Nazis. The expectation was a simple, dumb, nostalgic shooter. A blast from the past in the most literal sense. What we got was anything but. Machinegames did not just resurrect a classic, they performed an autopsy on it. They looked at the dumb, fun, power fantasy and asked a question no one dared to ask. What would that actually do to a man?
Strange sensation, trapped in my body. I black out. I'm losing time.
They gave us a hero who wasn't just a vessel for bullets, but a person burdened by 2 decades of failure and trauma.
Captain Blazkowicz, still fighting after all these years.
They gave us a world where the Nazis didn't just win, but perfected their vision, creating a chilling hellscape that was somehow believable. Along with it, a combat loop that was both a loving tribute to the OG run-and-gun formula of the past and a masterclass in modern game design. It was a game that asked you to be a dual-wielding god of war 1 minute and to sit quietly listening to a heartbreaking piece of ambient storytelling next. Wolfenstein the New Order. It wasn't just a great shooter. It was a narrative powerhouse that proved a linear, single-player FPS could be more relevant than ever. It was a game way ahead of its time, not because of its technology, but because of its courage. The courage to have a soul. What's up, guys? This is the story of how a game about killing Nazis became one of the most human stories ever told. To understand how Machinegames pulled this off, we have to start with the man himself, Jens Matthies. He was the creative director and lead writer for Wolfenstein the New Order. As creative director, he was responsible for establishing the overall artistic style, themes and tone of the game. He envisioned the alternate history setting of a Nazi-dominated world and guided the team in bringing that vision to life. As the lead writer, Jens crafted the game's compelling narrative, including the story of William P.J. Blazkowicz and his struggle against the Nazi regime.
We create the commune with God. Do you see that?
You've lost me.
It's like mathematical equations.
Oh, go on, Madeline.
And each solved equation brings you closer to God.
He wrote the dialogue, developed the characters, and shaped the overall plot. The game's surprisingly nuanced characters, emotional depth, and thought-provoking themes are largely attributed to his writing prowess. This balance between over-the-top action and creating moments of genuine human connection resonated with players on multiple levels, and which also ended up becoming New Order's biggest strength. Before New Order, Blazkowicz was a voiceless, faceless vessel for action.
P.J. Blazkowicz. I should have known only you would be dumb enough to do a daytime entry.
Machinegames transformed him into one of the most compelling protagonists in the genre. It's a landmark achievement in video game writing. The idea succeeds because the game never denies PJ his core identity as an action hero. Instead, it asks, what would it cost to be that man?
Memory loss, flashbacks, 14 years in a loony bin.
The answer is a portrayal rich with trauma, poetry, and a surprising gentleness that coexists with brutal efficiency.
Thought I'd seen it all. But
The game manages to make you care for Blazkowicz as a person. That is its greatest triumph. The game constantly contrasts BJ's external reality with his internal world. To the Nazis and even to his allies, he is the Terrorbilly, a near-perfect symbol of destruction, a mountain of muscle that can dual-wield automatic shotguns and single-handedly storm fortified castles. This is the Blazkowicz of the past, on which the franchise is built on, and the one we know.
Things I've seen in this life. Strange shit that turns your stomach, turns your hair white.
But the game also reveals to us the other side of Blazkowicz, a poetic, brooding, and deeply traumatized side.
I've seen 1,000 battles. I've seen the sun set on 5 different continents. I've seen dust rise off the surface of the moon. But all I want is to see you again.
He does not think in terms of heroic one-liners, but in flowing, almost melancholic reflection on loss, hope, and his own purpose. He refers to himself as a man with nothing to offer but pain. This duality makes him relatable. We experience the power fantasy through the lens of the character that is acutely aware of its cost. The violence isn't glorified for him. It's a grim necessity.
I think I see someone. These things. None of it for me.
Eyes open, Blazkowicz.
Game doesn't start with Blazkowicz as an unstoppable hero. It starts with him failing. The 14-year period spent catatonic in a mental institution is the foundational trauma of the game. It's a literal representation of his powerlessness. This time isn't just skipped over, it haunts him. It gives weight to his struggle.
Legs are like jelly. Fingers feel numb.
When he finally wakes up, it's not a triumphant return, but a painful, disorienting rebirth into a world that he failed to save.
We'll go somewhere. I believe there are still places on this earth where people can go and live happy.
I believe so too.
Blazkowicz is the hero, not because he's the chosen one, but precisely because he's the last one left. He's a relic from a lost war. There is no grand destiny here. There is only a desperate, last-ditch effort by a broken man to make a difference this time.
I'm sorry, Anya.
This makes his heroism feel earned and human rather than preordained. His motivation is an abstract patriotism. It's a very personal desire to protect the small circle of people who have become his new family.
You need keys. Idiot.
Machinegames understood that a character is defined not just by what they say, but by what they do in interactive moments. The game is filled with small optional interactions that build Blazkowicz's character. Will he sit and listen to a resistant fighter's story? Will he pick up a guitar and strum a lonely tune? Will he offer a word of encouragement? The player is often given the choice to have PJ engage in these quiet acts of humanity. This allows the player to participate in defining his gentler nature, making the characterization feel more personal and impactful.
Steel. Stone.
A compelling hero needs an equally compelling world to inhabit.
I wonder if there's anything in this world worth saving.
And the Nazi-ruled 1960s of the New Order is less a setting and more a character in its own right. The game masterfully conveys its themes through environmental storytelling. The Nazi architecture, the propaganda, the state of the mental asylum, all tell a story without a single line of dialogue. Picking up resistance newsletters reveal chilling details of the lost war. Listening to Max Haus's gentle nature, finding the little stories of everyday life under oppression. These moments make the world feel alive and worth fighting for. elevating the violence from mindless to motivated.
is centuries ahead of anything you've ever seen or imagined.
The Resistance members are not just mission givers, they feel like a family, each with distinct personalities and story arcs, which further adds to the world building.
I'm alive because of these people. I'm getting better because of her. Her name is Anya.
Anya, BJ's love interest in the game, and a perfect example of subverting the damsel in distress trope. She's not a fighter when you meet her, but she's fiercely strong-willed, resourceful, and pragmatic. She cared for BJ in the asylum, and when he wakes up, she does not just follow him, she becomes an active, vital part of the resistance.
Crafty, loyal, tenacious.
She learns to fight, becomes a capable operative, and is often the voice of reason and determination. Her relationship with BJ is built on mutual respect and shared trauma.
Jesus Christ, Tekla! Why aren't you asleep?
New Order also gave us one of the most interesting, non-playable characters you'd come across in a video game, Tekla.
Where do you go when you lose consciousness?
She's the intellectual antithesis to Nazism. Nazis used a perverted pseudo-scientific version of determinism to justify their horrors. Tekla presents an equally controversial philosophy and mechanical determinism that challenges the very concepts of soul, free will, and moral purpose.
You talk as if the future is inevitable, as if all our choices have already been made.
You think there is such a thing as free will? You know so little of the world.
She highlights the theme of humanity. The central question of the game is, what makes us human? She's not evil, she's a logical extreme. By including her, the game does not provide any easy answers. Instead, it deepens the narrative by asking the hardest questions. Of course, all this would be futile without the game presenting more than a capable challenge to our hero.
You? I've seen you before. Oh, I like you. Such a resilient specimen. With you, I could do great things.
And New Order manages to ace that aspect of the game too. The villains are terrifying, and they are more than just another enemy for BJ to run over. General Deathshead is the main antagonist and personification of Nazi ideology. Cold, calculating, devoid of humanity, viewing people as expendable resources for his horrific experiments. He has a genuinely intimidating presence.
Augenblick mal. Lassen Sie sich mal ansehen.
Froengel. While her full menace is explored more in the sequel, her introduction here is chilling. She presents a smiling, polite facade that barely conceals her fanaticism, making her unpredictably terrifying.
It's agony to dream like this. Wake up to reality. Sometimes, truly, it's good to remember what you're fighting for.
The narrative of the New Order is the primary reason it is remembered as a classic. It proved that a game about mowing down Nazis with dual shotguns could also be a thoughtful, emotional, and brilliantly character-driven experience. The game trusts player to handle a complex protagonist. It's a complete package. It's not just a good shooter or a good story. It's a benchmark title that demonstrated how to harmonize relentless, satisfying gameplay with a narrative that has genuine weight and emotion. It resurrected a beloved franchise with intelligence and passion, and in doing so, it influenced the entire FPS genre for years to come. It's a classic because it achieved everything it set out to do perfectly. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching.